and welcome to another Free.volous episode. So, carrying on with my kind of summer-themed sunscreen type videos, ideas, I decided to talk to you about my favourite methods of reapplying sunscreen throughout the day. Now, when I'm talking about reapplying sunscreen, I'm assuming one, that you already have a sunscreen as part of your daily routine. Why wouldn't you? And you apply it as the last step of your morning skincare routine, and in the correct amount of trustworthy sunscreen, no cheating, you know? And the second thing I would assume is that you know that I'm not talking about going out to the beach and frying off for a whole day. That's intense, prolonged sun exposure, and for that, my friends, I'm sorry to say, I don't believe there is a trick to do it. Basically, you're exposing yourself for a long amount of time and to very intense sun and UV rays. So the only thing that you can do is to reapply your sunscreen like there's no tomorrow in the correct amounts, at least, and that's at least every 2 hours, whenever you sweat, whenever you get wet, whenever you rub yourself with a towel. There is no other way to do it, and if you can, wear UV protective clothing if you can afford them, and staying out of the sun during the harshest hours. I'm sorry, I hate being the mama here, but it's the only way. Now, what I'm talking about is basically reapplying your sunscreen in kind of an urban setting, you know, when you're stepping out of your house and you're commuting to go to work, be it by your car or using public transportation, and you're exposed to the sunlight, and then you go to work and you're close to a window, or you're stepping out to have lunch, or doing errands like me if you're a freelancer, going from one place to the other throughout the day in your car, or again public transportation, or you're coming out from work and you're going out for drinks with friends and it's still light out, you know, that kind of situation where it's a splash of sun exposure here and there. The filters in your morning sunscreen will have degraded, so you need to keep reapplying whenever you're about to be exposed again, or if you're close to a window, just keep that in mind. UVA still comes through the windows. So, all that said, I'm going to go from my most reliable application method to the least reliable, but I still use them all, and I'll let you know why, how, and when. And as usual, what works for me may not work for you, but we can still be friends, alright? I'm not claiming to be reinventing the wheel here. All of this is really well known. I just made sort of a collage of all my favorite stuff and compiled it in one video for you. That's it. By the way, any kind of reapplication of product on your skin will slightly disrupt your makeup no matter what. None of this is foolproof because you're applying an emollient layer. Even if it's oil-free, you're applying an emollient layer on top of your makeup, so it's going to move it around a little bit. Just keep that in mind. First thing, and talking about the products, I'm just going to state the obvious. If you have limited space in your bag, go with the minis. Find minis of your favorite sunscreens. My favorite happens to be Uriage. This is the Barrière d'Herbe. I can't read the little letters, but this is the ultralight fluid for the face. I'm not going to do reviews on these products, just letting you know the kind of texture that I like. And it is a fluid. It sinks into the skin really beautifully. It has a bit of playtime before it doesn't completely disappear, but it forms that kind of silky film on my skin. Another option, and I just have this to show you the sizes. This is Paula's Choice. If you get along with Paula's Choice sunscreens, you can get a few minis to carry in your bag. Now, this is the product that you know will be a reliable reapplication source, right? Let's not lie to ourselves. Anything else that is not a cream liquid fluid kind of thing will be unreliable because of the amount of product that you're applying. How to reapply? First thing I would recommend, especially if you're oily, blotting sheets. These happen to be from Mina, 3ina, I don't know. These were on sale and I got them, really like them, but I mean, blotting sheets are blotting sheets. You can get them from, I think, Essence and Catrice. You can get some toilet paper and just press it on your oilier areas and it will absorb your oils without disrupting your makeup that much, right? You've blotted your skin, removed any oils from it so that you have the cleanest canvas possible without disrupting your makeup. And then my favorite method of application is a sponge, a beauty sponge. This happens to be a Juno sponge, which is a more velvety material, which is really interesting. I did not get along with it for makeup application, for foundation application per se, but it really works with any kind of liquid sunscreen that I have around. And my technique is very, very exquisite, I'd say. I just... Sad. I just apply the correct amount on my fingers, which is usually the 3 fingers worth or 2 fingers worth of product, and I just pick it up with a sponge and press it onto my skin. This may be a bit time consuming, but it is the most effective way to make sure that you have the correct amount of product applied to your skin and you have the least amount of disturbance on your skin, on your foundation from a product. The only thing would be, if you can, get a makeup sponge case. I have ordered one, those rigid plastic cases to carry this around just to make it a bit more sanitary. But until then, or if you can't be bothered, just have a Ziploc bag. That's what I've been using. It's just, it will do the job. The next technique is one of my favorites. I think it's not talked about enough, and it's really, really a shame, actually. It's getting your cushion foundation. You can buy these empty without anything in there, and the idea is to create your own concoction. But PSA, don't concoct anything with sunscreens. Sunscreens are meant and formulated to create a mesh, with all the air quotes I can, on top of your skin. And if you are mixing other products with that formula, you will be disrupting the way the formula was created, which will make it less safe. And because you don't know, because you haven't tested it, you're not a chemist most likely, all of that stuff, you will just F up your sunscreen and it won't work, but you will be applying it as if it was working, you know, that kind of stuff. If you want to mix up foundations to create your own formula, this is a great delivery and carrying system. But don't go further than that. Don't try to adulterate your... Is that a word in English? I hope so. Don't try to change your sunscreen with something else. It won't work. But you just take your sunscreen, you fill the little sponge here. This takes up to 15 mils of product. And then when you want, you just come over here, take your little spongy, press it on and press it onto your skin. And these sponges are great to apply on top of foundation. They hardly move anything. They don't absorb as much product also. Thing is, because it's all soaked in the cushion inside, the sponge inside, you won't be absolutely sure of how much product you're applying, and that's why this is less reliable than the previous method. But it's a great one. My favorite, I must say, because it's so easy, is facial mists, facial SPF mists. I have all the brands that I could get my hands on here. Some of them are empty. I just wanted to show you. There are many options in the market. This is La Roche-Posay Antelios. This is the one that I'm using at the moment. This is Vichy Ideal Soleil. I've just used it up. This is Garnier Ambre Solaire Sensitive Expert, whatever. Again, supermarket pricing, fantastic. And this one I bought recently from Instagram. I got influenced, and this I think is only available in the Iberian Peninsula, to which I say neener neener, because usually we can't get hold of stuff that people elsewhere have, especially in the UK and US, and now this is an exclusivo for us. So this is from the brand Agrado. If it's Spanish, is Agrado. I like to respect languages, you know, as far as I can. And this is the Solar Facial Mist SPF 50+. This is a tiny brand, and this is under €4. So because I douse myself in these little buggers, finding an affordable option is phenomenal. You know, nothing against the most expensive ones, even because they are easier to find, of course. But I mean, if you keep spraying this onto your skin throughout the day, it will start to disrupt your makeup. Your mascara will probably start bleeding. You'll have a little bit of, you know, things bunching up, or some of the powder within the formula collecting on your wrinkles, or just making your hairs look a bit white. You can wipe that off easily. But the differences are basically marginal at this point, and if I can find an affordable option, because I use these up so much, I'm going to go with a more affordable option. Understanding the amount of product that you're applying onto your face is not easy with these, because this is an aerosol. It goes all over and it disperses. These have intense smell, so you better not breathe while you're applying this. Just hold your breath and apply this. And what I do, I respect the distance that is mentioned in the instructions, and I do a few passes in a vertical stripe like this, and I really try to feel the product touching my skin to make sure that that area is sort of covered. And I do about 4 passes every time. Then I reapply, and I reapply this quite often. And if I'm in my car already ready to go and I forgot to apply my cream sunscreen, because I carry this around and I always apply it to my arms or legs or neck or chest or whatever areas that are exposed, and that I don't mind reapplying the cream as often. If I have forgotten to reapply the cream for some reason and I have to move on and start the car and get going, I take this and spray it all over my body if need be. As I said, you may look a bit shiny or a bit drier depending on your skin type when you're applying this for the 4th time on that day, and it may have a bit of build-up on your lashes, or it may make your mascara bleed a bit, but you know, these are all solvable problems with your fingers and stuff like that. So for me, it's not a deal breaker, nor would it ever be. Next up would be a stick sunscreen, and this one is from SVR. This is the old packaging. It has been refurbished, and this is the Sun Secure Easy Stick SPF 50 Plus again. And what I like about this, and I haven't tried other sticks, but I want to from other brands, this is a transparent stick. What I really like about this, it's really easy to carry and you can just swish it. This is a thick kind of jelly texture that is glossy on your skin, so it's not going to be for everybody. I hope you can see it glistening, but I like to apply this on my more sensitive areas, on my lips, maybe on the top of my cheekbones that are really exposed to the sun in the car. I like this for that, even applying on my tattoo. Downside of this is that it is sticky, so you won't feel like you want to spread it all over your face. I like to apply this in very dedicated areas, as I said, maybe under the eyes too. And this one started to become crumbly, so it crumbles and I have to pick the little bits and kind of smush it onto my skin to make sure that it dissolves, it becomes, you know, a cream texture. So this is a downside. I don't know if with the repackaging they have reformulated the product, and I'm really curious to try other brands. So if you know good stick sunscreens that are not mineral stick sunscreens, those, I don't like them, let me know and I'll give them a go. But this is a good one. Also lips, eyes, all that stuff. And the least reliable for me in terms of sunscreen reapplication is powder sunscreens. I know, especially if you're oily, it's so tempting, isn't it? But I don't know how much I have applied and how covered my skin is, how even the application has been regarding a powder, especially these that come in their little cases, and you have to do this 20 times until you see some powder coming out. But how long does it last? Because you then start applying and you can't see the powder coming off again. It's not the most easy. I like to press this, as I said, until some powder is coming out and press it onto my oilier areas. And I basically use this as a blotting powder. At the end of my sunscreen reapplication routine, I may blot a little bit of the sweat. I reapply my spray, I apply the stick, and then I go on my oily areas with this, just to make sure that it is a bit of powder that is absorbing my oils where I don't need them or where I don't want them. So that's the only thing. I wouldn't use this solely as a reapplication method, in my opinion. And that's it. These are my recommendations for reapplying your sunscreen throughout the day, again in an urban setting, not on the beach or anything like that. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have any other tips, let me know in the comments below. Share them with the world. Make this a big encyclopedia of sunscreen and sun care. And as usual, if you have enjoyed my video, please leave me a thumbs up, leave me comments down below, come talk to me on Instagram, subscribe if you haven't already, and as usual, thank you for spending your time on me, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!